Hello and welcome to From Fear to Fire, secrets to overcome fear, embrace your gifts, and achieve success. This is the place where real people share real challenges and where you can find a common bond and uncommon wisdom through their journeys to help you move from fear to fire. I am Heather Hansen O'Neill and I am your host. And today's quote is by Kierkegaard. Life has its own hidden forces, which you can only discover by living. And I love this quote, and I am very excited to bring you our special guest today, Luisa Ferrario. And she is a rebel transformative leader. I love that title. I want that. A leadership and business mentor, a speaker, author of 2 books, and a global entrepreneur. She facilitates entrepreneurs and C-levels in a game-changing, unique way that creates results beyond what they think is possible, activating and leading human-centric transformations that enhance their teams, their companies, and their lifestyle. There's a lot more. You can find more about her in the bio on the show notes, but let's just bring her on. Welcome, Luisa. How are you today?
Hi, Heather. I am great. Thank you for having me. And by the way, you are a rebel transformative leader as well as I
am. Most of the time people just tell me I'm a rebel, but I love it. I absolutely love it. That's fantastic. And please tell me, did I pronounce your name properly?
Absolutely, yes. Yay. Luisa Ferrario. Yeah, my surname is like the Ferrari, but with the O at the end.
There you go. There you go. That's outstanding. It just sounds so much better when you say it. So you are currently in Vienna, right?
Oh, yes, I am currently in Vienna and I live between Italy, Vienna and Cyprus, even if I am narrowing a little bit down. And so in a month, I will be living between Italy and Cyprus.
Oh, how lovely. Well, I am thrilled for you and I'm thrilled to have you here. So can you tell us a little bit before we dive into some questions, a little bit more about your background and what caused you to decide to move into this transformative leadership that you currently do?
Oh, well, so if it would for my legacy story, I have been through a lot in my life, and at a certain point, I came out with a choice, a very deliberate a very deliberate one regarding how I wanted my lifestyle to be in that moment and from that moment on. And from that moment on, that was 25 years ago, I started crafting my own life around deliberate and intentional choice. And so transformations started to show up in my life. And along the way, I learned and practiced a lot of tools and frameworks, and I developed a mindset that really helped me to be a transformation tool, if you want, for other people. And as I love so much business, I feel deep down that I am a born entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. I decided that business leaders and entrepreneurs would be my audience in order to help them transform their lifestyle and their companies and their teams and so on. Yeah.
I love it. And I love the element of choice. You just made a decision to make a change, and then the transformations started occurring. Now, you use something, you're talking about these hidden forces. So what are hidden business forces and what impact could they have on a business?
Oh, okay. So that's a very good question. I hope our audience would love it. Let me start sharing that I have some beliefs. Those beliefs, some of them at least, are that life is a multidimensional experience. And leadership and entrepreneurship are life, and so they are multidimensional experiences as well. Another belief of mine is that teams and organizations are living organisms, and they are connected one to each other to form an ecosystem. And so basically here we have three things: the multidimensional experience, the teams and organizations as living organisms, and connected to form an ecosystem. My point of view is that everything is connected and interrelated, and according to that kind of to the kind of relationships that come out from these connections, we can see a decrease or an enhancement of our teams, businesses, and lifestyle. And this is because of these hidden forces that I am talking about and that you asked for. So there is always something going on between people and all the other elements of a system. And I call this, quote, currency energy, okay? What we should do is to bring as entrepreneurs and business leaders, is to bring our focus on how impactful the ways energy flows can be in stopping teams and companies to expand and thrive, or the other way around. So to add something more on that, it is very important for us to know that there is this kind of process that we can call the flow of energy in a system, and that it is going on, and that we can address it, and also in which way we can address these hidden forces. And this is a very important acknowledgement and awareness to have in order for these hidden forces to have our back.
So either I love what you're talking about here. I speak a lot about the flow of energy and the interconnectedness. I love that. So these hidden forces, they could be positive or they could be negative, correct? Or it's the energy flow. Okay, so tell us a little bit more, please.
Yes. The thing is that we tended to ignore this process of give and take, but this is basically the economy of life, so we cannot really ignore it. And it is how life works. And as we know, in this bidimensional way of looking at things, we can see things as good and bad, and black and white, and small or big, whatever, no? And so as entrepreneurs and business leaders, we love our teams and our organizations, and we invest a lot in them, and we give them so much, and we want them to expand and thrive, and in a way to become part of our legacy story. So this is good, okay, but sometimes there is a kind of a pain, a worrying, or a frustration. And no matter how hard we try, our teams and companies' climate and results do not show up as we expected. And so we can, if we are really able to listen to ourselves, we can start detecting a gut feeling that is whispering to us, and so we know that something is holding us back. And what I have learned from main experiences of working with entrepreneurs and business leaders to transform their teams and organization is that under the surface of most of, I would say of every, but okay, I do not want to sound pretentious. So most of the teams and organizations.
Most. Okay, it's okay.
Yeah. So under the surface of teams and organization issues, we can find out that we are just functioning from a percentage of what is truly possible. And this is because there are special position of things in our business environments, or trapped emotions, or limiting ways of thinking and looking at things. And the interconnection of things, emotions, and way of thinking creates these hidden forces that, and you were mentioning, they are usually good or bad in the way that they can impact in letting the flow of energy go through things, and so accomplishing results, amazing results, beyond results, and so on and so on, or hindering us from these accomplishments.
Well, it sounds like, because you're talking about the percentage of what's possible, right? So we're currently limiting ourselves because of these hidden forces, potentially. I mean, not purposefully, but this is happening with the energetic flow. And so to me, it seems very clear that this is important to look at and to recognize, to become aware of. And how do we become aware of them, other than like just listening to that when you get quiet, and you said your gut, right? Can you clarify a little bit more for people on that?
Oh, yes. As leaders, I think that we cannot afford to ignore these forces. And if we ignore them, they become stronger and they hide even more, and they can create conflicts, decrease tiredness, disengagement, disconnection, distrust, unawareness. This is just to name a few, but distraction comes to my mind, lack of creativity, that is so important nowadays after the hell that we went through in the past 2 years. And have the possibility to support each other. Otherwise, we have this low level of performance, this sadness, this heaviness. I think that heaviness is probably a word that, together with fatigue, is a word that we have been pronouncing a lot in the last times. So if I keep ignoring them and I do not address them, they become conflicts, and then companies bring me or you or other colleagues of ours in to start transforming the situations. But this is something that we have to do from inside out. So, and it is something that we have to address in a proper way. I mean, for me, it doesn't work that I enter a business environment or the intimacy of a team and I tell people what to do. This is something that really doesn't work for me. I'm not saying that it doesn't work. I'm just saying that it doesn't work for in accordance to what I was saying before regarding the beliefs that I have. Okay, and also regarding what I have been seeing in the last 15 years, basically. For instance, when we see high turnover of people leaving their job, or when we see bad working environments between team members and with jealousies or feelings that not so much uplifting, I would say, or day by day activities that go so slowly, and sometimes you enter your day and your working day, and it looks like you open your laptop or your computer or you talk to a colleague, and it looks like that during the night you went 3 steps behind, I mean, back, instead of 1 step forward. So, and you tell yourself, oh, wow, what happened? And another thing might be that conversations are unauthentic. I mean, I'm sure for you it is as well. When you talk to people, somehow you feel that they are. I mean, they are not aware of that. They really believe that they are saying the truth, or that they have been authentic, but they are not. So they are masking things, and this is the very starting point when I mean, when conversations are unauthentic. This is something that we really wanted to keep into account and start from there in order to explore what is going on.
You know, so many different things. So there's some obvious, so if people are looking to identify what forces are at play, right? So I'm thinking that you've got obvious ones like, okay, morale is low, or people are, you know, like you're saying, they're having inauthentic conversations, or they're just there's jealousy, or they're not getting along well, or the productivity isn't. These are obvious ones, but it seems to me like in order to see these, obviously it's been going on for some time, huh?
Yes, of course. But so, for instance, to clarify a little bit more regarding what kind of, I mean, which name, which label we can give to these hidden forces, we can think about a solution. For instance, we look for a solution for a situation that is going on. Okay, so a solution is basically a neutral thing. Okay, so a solution can either be good or bad, but we don't know upfront. We have to go through the process of implementing the solution in order to see how it works, okay, which the results will be. But this is something, for instance, that we can explore before implementing the solution. So we can just frame the solution, figure it out, and with a certain kind of process to question this solution as if it was a person, as if it was someone who had the power to talk, to have feelings, to hear things, and so on and so on. Okay, or for instance, a new product that we would like to take to the market, or a product that we would like to take away from the market, or again, a marketing strategy, a service, a principle, or a value. All those things can be a hidden force, and they are not good or bad per se. They might come out to be dysfunctioning or uplifting and generative in relationship to the connection that they have to other things. So, for instance, a cultural behavior can be wonderful in a certain kind of company, or in a certain team in a company, but it cannot be good for another one, not productive. I mean, when I say good, I mean productive. For instance, kindness seems to be such a good thing. I am an advocate for kindness and joy in business, and of course there are hidden good forces, but for instance, the extent of the kindness of or of the joy, and the way we implement or we act it in a company might give very different results in terms of accomplishments. Yeah, so
yeah. This is fascinating, and I work a lot with what you're talking about, but I love the framing that you're using, and the power. It just seems like it has so much power to be able to uncover this connectedness, this energy flow, and to be able to increase our productivity based upon the awareness of it and the management of it. Do you have a specific business case or example that you could give us that could help us understand even more about what you do?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Let me think. Yeah. I have in mind an Italian client of mine who has been a client of mine. And so this is a family business company. And let's say that their goal was to transform the mindset, the skill set, and the leadership strategy to take their brand to an international level. Okay, so they're a fashion company, and obviously Italian. What could it be? And the short answer to how we did get to to take them to the next international level is through a deliberate, intentional choice as a way of going through the situations that we were facing in their business. But the longer answer is that, so as I was saying, the context is that this is a manufacturing company serving the luxury and fashion field, and they are internationally considered to be an excellence because they have a very unique fabric that is a silk kind of fabric, which is worldwide renowned for its incomparable quality. And I could mention a lot of a lot of brands using it. Bulgari is the first one that comes to my mind, for instance, you know. So the client is a family business owned and company, and it is led by the founders. Second generation. The founder passed away when he was young, and the second generation was still very, very young, but they were meant to lead the company one day. So basically there are two sisters around 40, and they were covering the roles of sales director and COO. And the CEO is also married to the company's managing director, who entered the company after the marriage. Okay, so this is for those
I got all kinds of dynamics going on in my head. Okay, keep going.
So the leadership culture of the first generation is still alive, and so it gets in the way with the expansionist goals of the current leaders, who actually are not really having authentic conversations. And so we go back to what we were saying before. The leadership mindset, their skill set, and also the action set of these three leaders need to focus on different things, and this was the main goal. I mean, the main focus of the whole intervention. And actually, the client's challenge was that they were totally unaware of how still deeply rooted the founder's mindset and the leadership style of the founder were in the current company culture. And so this was preventing the company governance to manage and lead in a way that matches the requirements to be the top of mind of the world fashion industry nowadays. And so basically they need to reframe the current local and I would say anachronistic mindset, and also the business model, the leadership approach, and the organizational processes by updating them. And this was meant to be according to their business goals and the new worldwide market challenges. So the intervention went on for 18 months. And apparently we did the usual activities that are supposed to be done in this kind of situation. So for instance, the mentoring and advising on leadership strategies and the leadership training programs or the leadership mentoring program for each one of the 3 leaders. But there has been a specific intervention that really was a game changer of the whole situation. And these were 4 group sessions that I personally had with the 3 of them, and where I was exploring with them in a way that is far, far away from the right mind, from the left side of the mind. So it was not at all logic. It was analogic. It was very creative. It was very related to feeling in the body what was going on in their company. And we were putting in place during our work those hidden forces, and we were starting conversations with these hidden forces. One of the most interesting things that we found out that was amazing for them, they couldn't believe, and it has been brave from the side, I have to admit, is that the husband of the CEO at a certain point admitted that he was very jealous of the lifestyle that the other sister was having with her partner, because the husband and the CEO had 3 children. So when they finished working, they were going home again, the 2 of them, just them and the kids. And so they were basically bringing the same dynamics that they had in the company, in the family, okay?
Yes.
And but they were totally unaware of that. But when I facilitated them through this kind of work in embodying what was going on in their family and in the company and in their group of 3, and that was exactly the same emotions that they were experiencing, they were amazed. And so he was jealous basically because the other sister and her partner were, when they finished working, they had no children, and they were quote free. And they were going out for weekends, and they were enjoying their bike, and they were having fun with friends. So he was really, really jealous of her. And just stating that, wow, the energy in the room was a completely different story. And also the position that the 3 of them were having in the space while we were working started to change. So I could witness that they could, how can I say, they could relate in a more intimate and authentic way, and starting creating together. There were no more tearing themselves apart, and that was amazing to see, because there were literally the flow of energy started to come in, and they started to envision different strategies, a new business model, and this in just 4 sessions. That was amazing, Heather.
That is amazing. I mean, I'm actually feeling it like in my skin, like the little chills.
Yeah,
because
it gives goosebumps.
Yeah, I do. It's very powerful. And I think that these things, the undercurrent of things like that in organizations is so happens so often, and we just go through our lives unaware. And
Yeah.
how beautiful to be able to bring it to the surface to allow for a greater flow. Now, if we have business leaders or entrepreneurs that are listening right now thinking, oh my gosh, I'm getting goosebumps too. What could I do? Is there something, a tip or something that you can offer them that they can take away and think about or work on?
Oh, yes, yes. So, as simplistic as it might sound, I mean, let me share this one before jumping into the answer. I believe that the easiest tools and the easiest way of looking at things is the most powerful one, because we are familiar to it, and also because it doesn't take too much energy or focus away from other activities, right? So as simplistic as it might sound, powerful open questions to the right hidden forces are the tools that we need to start the right conversation with these hidden forces. And we might, for instance, um, asking a very open question that could be, is there a hidden force going on? So this is the basic, okay? It is very easy, very simple, very quick. And then how do we know if it is a yes or a no? We just refer to the experience of being our body in its wholeness, and we listen with our not just the ears but with our senses. If the reply that comes up that is just I mean, an intuition, it doesn't has to be a verbal reply, okay? If it gives a light or a heavy feeling. If it is a light, so is there a hidden force going on? If you feel lighter after asking this question, it is a yes. I mean, and if you feel that it is heavier, it might be another thing, okay, that we do not have time to address right now.
Okay.
Yeah, and to start from there, you go on using the light and heavy, and so you can ask yourself, what do I do with that? Okay, and then you start listening to the answer. It might be immediate, the answer, but it might come later. So if you do not have an immediate answer, you can leave it, and you will have the answer. It might be during the day, it might be during the night, maybe something that someone is saying that lights up your lamp and your bulb, and so on and so on. And then you can ask yourself, what do I do with that? Or then you can also ask, can I change it? Or is it something that for the time being I cannot address, and there might be something else that I can change? So this is another powerful question that you can ask yourself. If you can change it, because the answer is light, so it is yes, how do I change it? Can I do that by myself? Do I need to bring in other people from the team? Do I need to bring in other people from the company? Do I need to bring in, I don't know, my psychologist, I don't know, my family, my, I mean, a consultant, an advisor, whatever it is. Yeah, I think that we just need to be the question, and to stay in the question, and then to be the question. This is basically what we need to start powerful conversations that lead us to unmask these hidden forces, and to have them co-create with them. Yes. And to remove the last obstacles that are those who prevent our team and businesses and lifestyle to go to the next level. I hope it helps.
I love that, to be the question, to live with the question, because it does often come at very different times. You may
Yeah,
ask the question. I call it like, having an intention for finding something out, right? And so if
yeah,
you just go into it
exactly.
with this intention, and then later on you're going for a run, or you're in the shower, or unfortunately for me, it's typically at 3 o'clock in the morning, but but it comes to you when you're living with that. Oh, what a great suggestion. Now, this is time is flying by. I could spend a lot more
Yeah.
time with you, but I'm certain that people are going to want to reach out to you, connect with you. Would you be able to share your website or how you want people to connect with you?
Oh, yes. So my website is www.luisaferrario.com. And you can find me also on LinkedIn and on Facebook, or they can reach out to you and ask you.
Yes, you know what? I will make sure to put these links into the show notes so that people can just easily click on it and get to you. So as we wrap this up, you get to choose. I'll give you two choices here. You can
Yeah.
either lead with any final words of wisdom that are important to you, or maybe you could mention a little bit about why you believe joy is important in business today.
Oh, well, can I take both? I'll just be very quick.
Sure. Go ahead. Do both. I'm an and kind of gal.
So the answer to the first stimulus is that please start focusing on creationships instead of relationships. So
Mm.
creationships is the new black.
I love it. Oh, I love that.
So this is my pearls of wisdom. And regarding the joy in business, yeah, I am an advocate of joy of leading in leaders and organizations. As I was saying before, I mean, when we think about things that are going on regarding employees' engagement or team proactiveness and commitment, or the interest of the market for our products and companies. But also when we think about networking with other entrepreneurs or other leaders, anything that is related to business in a broader way, for me, leads to joy, because I think that has been the experience for many people in the last 2 years, that we went through a very tough connection time. And when we were able to connect to things that were giving us joy, and I mean tasks, for instance, I mean colleagues, okay, I mean strategies, tools, and so on and so on. Things started going better. So for instance, yesterday I was onboarding a new assistant, and I had different tasks for her. And I asked her, on a scale from 1 to 100, how joyful would you be to do this, to do this, to do this, to do this? So we rated all the tasks, the macro tasks, okay, that she was supposed to do. And she gave me her rating, and I asked her, please just choose to do whatever is above 80%. Otherwise, there wouldn't be enough joy in your work. And I need you to be joyful in your work and in your life to bring joy in my business.
Oh, I love that. That's fantastic.
And I told her, if there are tasks that they are low, they're 80%, we can just onboard someone else who would be very joyful to do those tasks. Okay, so it's not a big deal. but I think that is very, very, very important. We need it to bring joy. Yeah.
That is, I'm immediately going to use that because I'm about to bring on someone new myself, and I love that. I'm going to have him or her rate these activities, because why have them doing something that's going to make them miserable? We
Yeah,
want
yeah,
the
yeah,
joy and the energy of the joy
yeah.
to fill the entire business. I love, love, love that. Luisa, you're amazing, and I have completely enjoyed my time with you here. I'm certain that our listeners have as well. Listeners, if you liked it, share today's show, rate us. We always love those. Those are kind of fun. So thank you. Thank you again for coming and sharing your wisdom.
Thank you to you, Heather. It was such a joy, and and the pleasure to be here. And yeah, I can't wait for what's ahead.
Oh, me as well. Take care now.
And you.